We're on to our final best of one of the day, the last time for these upsets to potentially come on through. And we've got Movistar Riders taking on Enterprise. Now, we've kicked Drowlon out. We've brought in Janko. Welcome back.
You missed it, James. You had like the perfect introduction. Like we had Movistar Riders and here a Movistar of our own.
Oh, you know.
Doesn't matter, we'll get there. Just the first game of the day, right? Like you'll get maybe playoffs time. I get the introduction I deserve here.
You already introduced me, so the Movistar is right here.
Yeah, okay, man. Whatever. Maybe the washed up Dolph Lundgren or something like that.
I was still in Rocky, so
Rocky first. The Expendable. That's a great. There's your nickname, Kasat the Expendable.
Well, that's actually true. Last days.
That's how the career's gone for this
All
point.
still
right?
mates, of course.
Yeah, always. But it's good to have you here, mate.
Good to be back, yeah. I felt better, but I'm feeling good, all things considered. I love it here. I was here one time, the first one actually. Here we had some cool teams then as well. It's a good mix. I love the opportunity that some of these teams get. I mean, we were there. I was there 10,000 years ago now. Like 8 years ago, we were attending a similar tournament, right? Like complete underdog coming in. And it's fun because you get a couple of good results. I'm telling you, the only thing you need is basically like you get an invite into the top practice group. Yeah. Like that's what you're playing for, because how can you improve if you don't play against teams better than yourselves? And that's where Enterprise find themselves at right now.
Yeah, and Enterprise, right? Obviously, that's a team that's kind of had an interesting development because we just didn't even expect them to make it through here.
Yeah, they were supposed to be the last team in the group, to be honest. By the quality of the teams, you know, I mean, maybe we could put like Hungarian mix, like with the Hungarians there, but they beat Wisla in the first game in the opener, best of one, and then they had the Budapest 5 or the Hungarian mix, however you want to call them, in that super close game, which they topped the group, and they deserve the spot right here. Now they're facing Movistar Riders, the major team, you know, on the uprise. So let's see what they can do. It's still a best of one. They can surprise. It's unlikely, but they can do it.
So Janko, give me the Movistar breakdown of these boys.
Yeah, I think also they were the surprise package of, you know, IEM fall first and then moving on to the majors, showing some really good CS. The names you will most likely recognize are likes of Alex and Mopos. They've been on the team for a while, even in the international lineups that they've had with Smuja, Steel and whatnot. But they decided to go back to a full Spanish roster, and it seems to have, you know, done well for them. I think obviously helping. This is interesting. Also, no team ever won the major that didn't speak in their native language. So no matter how successful some of these international teams have been at times, communication is just such a huge part of the game. It really feels like that might be a part that has elevated them to be able to compete with some of the best teams in the world.
Let's not get carried away with winning the major as a Spanish team, but just qualifying for one should be enough for the Spanish community at this point right now. It's a big accomplishment for them. You know, Serbia doesn't have one, so
yet.
Isn't that because of you boys though? You know, you left in different routes very early on.
Yeah, just everything's my fault these days. So let's put the whole like Serbian scene on my shoulders as well. Yes, I accept it is my fault.
See,
I might go back to coach a Serbian team to ruin them even more.
Just to make it worse.
Yeah.
Well, he was sending them home on a bus earlier than they needed to be.
Yeah, I'm gonna be driving that bus if he gets the coach that.
Yeah,
but I don't even have a license, so you know how that goes.
Oh God, here we go.
It's gonna be an exciting trip. But yeah,
a short one.
I think Enterprise, you know, I think the reason why they're in this phase is they overperformed individually in some of the games, right? Matt is the highest rated player for the team. He was the third in all of the play-ins, and he's not the highest rated player of the team. It's Forsy Diopper, right? So I think that's definitely something they're gonna have to. That has to continue for them if they're going to make an upset here, because just in the firepower department, Movistar is just ways ahead of them.
They have actually played against each other though, which wasn't sure it was going to be too much of a thing with Movistar's recent rise, but they are going up against them in some tournaments.
They played each other once. That was in October, I think, towards the end of October. It was a comfortable win for Movistar Riders, you know, over Pasenuk. Not too convincing, but not too close. So it's like the difference in quality is obviously there, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, we would see Enterprise on the major and Movistar's Rider not. So.
I mean, we would see them somewhere. I'm going to be honest here. It's the first time I hear of the team, right? And we've done some qualifiers here and there. We had teams on the up and up. So they're just out there trying to put a name for themselves. The Czech, Slovak, mix, really, and that's just how any story starts, right? You get to it, you play teams better than yourself, maybe you pull off an upset here and there, but more than anything, you just learn, right? You learn of different ways. You didn't know you could lose a game in a certain way. You see it there, you see new things that you need to improve on.
I think if somebody actually offered them at the beginning of the first stage of the tournament, like if you want to qualify and that would be the end for you, like they would take it. I think they would, right?
Yeah.
Considering the state that they were in, but like Janko said, it's a good start. Like it's a start as any other.
Let's see if that start can go any further, right? Are we looking at this though on paper as like Movistar's clear favourites for a 2-0, or is a map thing something kind of the best that Enterprise is going to be hoping for with this?
Well, it's really hard to be 2-0 because it's a best of one, but maybe they start with the 2-0 like the first two rounds. But yeah, the thing is, like, I think they're very clear favorites in this matchup, and obviously I think it's gonna go for a more like a standard map between like Mirage or Inferno, something like that. It's no team is gonna risk it. But I really think that the quality difference is going to be shown like relatively. And the only thing that kind of the Enterprise has going on for them, because they've already played here. Like they already have a couple of maps like under their belt here, and then Movistar is their first map, and maybe it's like the jitters, a little bit of pressure, but I don't think so.
Where are we putting Movistars right now though? Because you mentioned obviously the IM Full thing was a big surprise. We didn't expect them to have that success coming in. Is that just kind of a flash in the pan, or did you see good signs where it can be taken further forward?
I saw some good signs, but then again, I also saw good signs from Sinners in like Pro League and at IEM, and you see them falling flat here. So it's all about continuity, consistency. Once you have a couple of good games, good results, people are going to pay more attention to you. They're going to be more serious preparing against your team, and you're going to need to find new ways to win rounds and win maps, right? You might have a couple of cool moves that you like to do. Well, after it works a couple of times, people are going to try to shut that move down first, so it has to be something new, something different. That's when you start hitting a wall, so to speak. You need to get over that hump and find new ways to win.
That must be the primary goal for Movistar Rise to hit the playoffs here, right? That would be the goal number one, and if they get the lucky draw, they avoid Gambit, they can get into the finals, and then it's a best of 5, it's a grand finals, God knows what can happen, right? But the primary goal should be hitting the playoffs. They're in a good spot. If they win this game, they had a decent chance against, well, at least a chance against Entropic, and if they don't make it, then it's like a fallen Sinners lineup right now, and there is a good chance for them to actually accomplish that first goal.
Well, let's start to get our teams onto the stage, and let's start with bringing Movistar Riders into the mix. I would say that those boys at least were a bit more hyped up and happy than we've seen a lot of these teams. Kasaj,
well, happy team wins today, right?
Yes, there we go.
Like, Entropic being so hyped about it, they won. Maybe they're just copying their style.
I think Happy Team wins most of the time, really. Having good energy, it's going to go a long way to winning some Counter-Strike games.
Yeah, being awake, being ready for it, and let's see if our next team's ready for it. Enterprise, they're used to this stage, so let's bring them back on. as hyped when it comes into all of that, but they do have one player that was half asleep.
Well, that's something. They didn't look so like entertained or happy, but they did look kind of focused. I have to give them that. Right?
Okay, you'll give them the
I'll
focus
just give them
angle.
that. Some of them is like just sleeping, just so.
Focused or maybe a little bit nervous as well.
I don't know. Try to imagine yourself in a position like that, like years back, right? And it's half, right? You feel the jitters, but you also like feel the eager to play the game at the same time as soon as possible.
And get ready for sure. Yeah. Let's see what the video is going to be saying. We're going to end up on the decider of Overpass this time around, and that was one of the maps they had played against each other before. It was what, the 69 scoreline in favor of Movistar?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is great for Movistar. I remember even when we had to play them a couple of times before. Overpass was a map they were like pretty good on. You could even like steal some moves from them. Like they had a pretty good understanding of the map with the international lineup as well. So I think they just have Mopos as well towards that B side, on the T side as the B lurker. He's a guy who likes to take risks, go for plays. He has a good knack of where the openings are, what is a good timing to go for that. So I just think this is a very kind of easy map for Movistar to outplay Enterprise.
Definitely comfortable map for them. But if you are like Enterprise right now, you maybe expect something like that. If you're going to allow them to like leave it and keep it and pick it at the end, then you might have a plan for it. Like maybe you go aggressive, you go into their face, you try to play your own game like Fiend did against Gambit, try to do something unless like you just want to get run over, right? You just want to wait and play not to win, just not to lose, sorry. And
not to win.
Yeah, not to win, but when Gambit did play like that. But the thing is, like, they need to show something, some sort of a game plan, some sort of initiative coming into this. I don't know which side are they going to start on. Probably CT. I mean, if the Movistar Riders pick the map, so it's going to be good to see some sort of aggression towards outside. I mean, yard or a yard, I guess. And after that, we'll see how they start. I guess pistol is important for them.
Always is. Let's see how it all goes down. We're going to get back with Jay and Dweg.
Thanks, guys. Yes, very excited to close out our best of ones in the group stage. And having seen our favourite teams now finally get some wins on the board in the best of ones, we can look forward to seeing whether or not Movistar Riders try to do a similar amount of damage. I'm kind of with them on this one here, Dwayne. They were great. As Janko mentioned, they were great during the major run. They were great during the major itself. They were the underdog storyline, if you will. Yeah. But in this one, I would consider them more favourites above Enterprise by quite a heavy margin.
Yeah, again, though, I look at this veto and I think, my goodness, how has Enterprise managed to get Overpass into this? We look at the last head-to-head, they picked it against the Movistar Riders, they picked it against Sinners and Entropic Prague on LAN. That was best of 3 contexts as well. Against In Republic, they picked it against K23, they picked it against EC Lot. So this is a team that pick a lot of Overpass. For Movistar Riders, they're probably just thinking, well, we've beat them on this map before, we might as well go to it again. Yeah,
you can imagine that's probably their thinking for their own right. It seems to make a lot of sense given how that map went down. I feel like the results could be replicated as well. Movistar now look like a real solid unit. They look like they're probably in the right prime position to get this victory on the board and move forward to the upper bracket game. For Enterprise, they did look impressive. And honestly, I didn't have them going as deep as they actually have ended up going here. Like, I gave them a slight outside chance of making a run during the playing groups. But in terms of these main groups, though, I feel like this is where things are going to start to get very awkward. And I don't feel like they're going to make the playoffs.
I don't think there was any chance that Entropic were getting out of groups. When you've got Vizsla and Fiend in that group, you look at it immediately and think to yourself, who's the 2 top teams? And Enterprise were able to surprise a lot of competition.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that they've already got 2 thumbs up from me in that respect. They've gone deeper than what is usually expected by regular tradition. They've gone farther than what I think maybe they might have been able to expect and what they might have been reaching for. So they can already bow out this competition relatively happily. If they can get a close best of one, though, against Movistar Riders, I think there'll just be a little bit extra sweetness to this Sunday. As we get into the pistol round, as the USPs of the CT side versus the Glocks and the P250 over for Alex, who leads the charge for Movistar Riders. Out towards Monster initially on the defaults. The Bombers on the back of Mopos. He gave it off to one of his teammates. He might try play entry.
Yeah, it could just be a walkout, a contact play down into the B site. Matty's not seeing any of this information. Addy's going to be the first point of call.
Gets overwhelmed by Mopos, drawing first blood in this matchup. Mangus is also pushed away. We have got Matty's getting a couple of decent kills in, so it will be a 3 versus 3 as the trades come back for Mopos and Sampaius. Advantage regained by the Movistar side as they get the bomb down on B.
Yeah, even though that Davi G falls straight away, it's the trading game that works out nicely. They've got to turn someone around to look at a monster, and already Forzy's been seen. Looks like Alex is going to connect onto the frag. They are giving him individual visual jewels, and Mopos finally is able to pick that away. The Elive doesn't find anything out from heaven. Movistar Riders, it wasn't the cleanest of the 3v2. They did manage to get the picks on the post plant.
Not important pistol round to gain for them here. T-side start out for them. Enterprise pushed onto the back foot. I believe that they won the knife rounds. They got to the side on the choice of the CT halves here. Force buyers will also be brought in for our second round. It's a pretty standard for the CT forces.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. We didn't get to see any overpass coming through from Enterprise in this event so far. I actually saw a lot of Ancient from them. They played it in their BO1 against Vizsla. They picked it against Team Hungary in that overtime bonanza to then turn it into a third map and get the victory. We have not seen them lose a game so far here in V4.
This will be the opening start. Never know. Movistar definitely in control of this stage, however. Elive dealt with immediately. Frag found on some Pius. Press on long, gain all the control, look into the bathrooms as well. And just wait. Happy to play this one slowly, as most teams have so far in the last handful of days.
Yeah, we haven't seen a lot of overpass, honestly. We saw a fair bit of it when it came to the online cup, but so far here in the event, seems as if it's a map that a lot of teams are avoiding. Avoiding the gamble stack might have to be on the mind here for the Movistar Riders. They are having 3 here on the city side, up here at the A-bomb side. And for Movistar Riders, it looks as if they're going to be running straight into it.
Stand by for Enterprise. Utility at the ready, smokes down. 4C is forced the rotation right back out towards Bankides. Alongside Mangus here in this pizza corner. The truck, they will press the issue, and the T's will start leaning out. They've caught off pack damage onto 1 and 2. They're killing the second man as well. And Mangus is going to wait in the midst of this smoke. A bit more of an advanced angle. Some Pius trying to see if he can detect him. Finally has spotted out the man as the kill comes in. 4C is left alone. Mid player also taken out of the fold by Mopos. So yeah, Scout 1v5, best to save.
I don't even think he's going to be able to do so. This lurk from Mopos out to the B side should surely get rid of the Scout. Perfect timing. Easy pick coming through from Mopos. And I had a decent chance of watching quite a lot of Movistar Riders when it came to the RMRJ. And one of the things I did see from them when they qualified for the Major is everyone on that team had so much emotion about them. Defs, nothing. Absolutely nothing. It was the weirdest thing to look at. Everyone was getting so hyped. They were yelling. It was just like, yeah, it's all right.
Do you think that's to try and match his namesake?
Maybe.
Hype is death.
You could be right.
So, never know.
There's definitely a team that when things go their way, when they win some important clutches, they can get loud.
Well, so far, no real reason for him to get loud. Only 1 frag deep for him in this matchup, but it's still very early doors. Movistar Riders with the 2-0 start, and the USPs out for Enterprise should lead into the 3-0 as well. BT50s on 3 players could be a bit of a curveball, but no Kevlar, no utility. Should lean into a simple setup. A simple start for the Movistar Riders at this stage. See what Enterprise can do. They have done some damage to Alex, so at least that's all right.
You wonder what has changed, what's clicked here for the Movistar Riders, because when you think of Mopos, he's been a part of this team since 2017, mid-2017, and for the longest time, they'd always had Iberian teams. They'd always had the Spanish lineups, and they were okay. They were average. They were nothing great. It looked as if the international lineup that they had with Steel and Shox and Smooya was going to be the next big thing. And then when we saw the roster changes, it felt like this new lineup has even more potential, and they've gone back to the local scene.
It's kind of ironic, honestly. I don't think anyone would have expected that when you lost someone like him. That's as Elive. Knife, easy. Simple. Back turn, looking in out of TopCon at the wrong moment. It was that little bit extra money to go the way of the T-side lens. They can continue building the economy state. Now they're looking to an open and free B bomb site. Nobody's here for Enterprise.
It could make a huge difference to think that the extra knife, the cash injection, the 1500 kill bonus. And for Enterprise, just hope that you don't get farmed up by this MAC-10, really. That's pretty much all the round's going to give.
That should be the 3-0. Enterprise aren't going to lean in, so it's almost guaranteed to be a 3-0 at this stage. Grab those pistols and just use them as extra firepower in the next round if you need it. The main concern is going to be the rifles, however, brought down in round 4. MAC-10 needs to be evaded, and Mangus almost gives up a kill towards it, so Payne is involved at the very least to ensure that there is no money flowing away of Alex. But again, nothing lost majorly for the T-side line. They keep the Galils, the AK in play, 3-0 start, and now it's the rifle round coming in from Enterprise.
A fun fact as well for the Movistar Riders, as we had day one of this event kicking off, Jay, they're actually still in Spain playing a local LAN event, which got them into the conference spot. So that is already them, I don't want to say LAN proven, but having that experience on LAN only a few days ago to then being able to get into this position today.
Again, simple start from the Movistar Riders again to maintain their start in this matchup. AWP out for Forsey very early for Enterprise. Guns in across the M4's utility basis. Limited on a couple of players, particularly Forsey with the single flashbang. That shouldn't be too much of a worry for him. On a smoke sitting on 4 players, so suppression is involved. Utility thrown initially the incendiaries. Counter Molotovs back from Sunpire Siko.
Yeah, Movistar Riders just pushing this default out to the A site, seeing if they can put some early pressure on to the E-Live that's playing down there from that divider position. You have to wonder as well for Enterprise, what kind of information play do they need? What sort of opening man advantage do they need? Right now, Matties could be the first point of call if they do explode out of connector and move into short pipe.
Walk out. And a squeaky door. Matties turned away from the flashbang. Gets himself 2. It's actually a D's that steals 2 back on Alex and Davi. 5 versus 2 as a result. Enterprise kind of decimating on that crossfire. Nice and effective, and Movistar Riders got nowhere left to go.
And that was a good response, Jay. I'll give him that much. The way that they bounced back from 3 rounds in a row, being won out by the Spaniards, feels as if that crossfire pretty solid out to waiting for the connector pop. Mopos and Sunpias. I mean, really, 2v5. They've got the bomb control, at least just outside of Fountain. Other than that, though, not really much going their way.
Mango's hoping to see him on the jump face, but he's in the midst of that smoke, so no chance to catch that penultimate kill. Bomb in the back of Sunpias was heard by E-Live, so they should know that he's rotating back here. Regardless of where they go, the trade should be effective for Enterprise. And they're even going to go back and save. One nade out to try and do some damage, maybe take an exit frag away from the Meta Monster. It's not going to come through for them, though. Again, this is the first round of the board for Enterprise. Really just come down to the shot down crossfire. Movistar put a lot of eggs in that mid and connector take, and it didn't really come out well for them.
That's a start to come through from the Slovakians. 3 Slovakians on this team, 2 Czech Republic players as well. No coach or analyst for this team, whereas some Movistar Riders, they've got Blade, a player that you can look back over his career at Kick. That was probably an organization that a lot of players went through at some point or another. Existence as well, and when G2 had a Spanish lineup.
I remember that, actually.
Yeah, G2.es they were called.
Very long time.
It was like KPI, those. Existence was like another big one, but Kick was the main. That was more Portuguese, I think, than Spanish, but they had probably a bit both.
Mix up from time to time.
Yeah.
Guns back in for the time being as we get from the past to the present. It's Mopos tagged up early in this round. I believe a bit of a nade put out to the spam position over at the stairs entrance at Monster. Mopos giving up a slight HP advantage to the CT forces. And all the back off of no contact here. Might also have been spammed down towards that Monster position. The smokes are in play, so it's very unlikely. It might have just been blind spray. Nades to try to drive them back. Will return a little bit more damage to Enterprise.
It just feels as if this is going to be quite a slow game. Haven't seen a lot of early aggression from the T-side at all from Movistar Riders. Enterprise just waiting to see if they can hold on to their util, force a mistake. And this first fight looks like it's going to come out in the bathrooms.
I think you're bang on with how slow this game could end up being. E-Live, however, backing up, so even slower for the T-side. They will take the bathroom's control. They won't know how close the CT was. He won't challenge them. AWP starts to move in for the T-side line. The AWP of the CT forces was caught off in the mid position itself. Still no contact. 40 seconds left.
Yeah, it seems like a decent read. AWP on angle, doesn't even know about the other M4.
Big rush forward, and well, one player is down for it. E-Live, M4 ready for the next. Mopos sees the shadow, drops that bomb. 5 versus 3, and they're just going to running into the Enterprise side now. Sunpias finally with the tradies to grab that bomb and commit it to the site. It's the AK of Deaths now, leaning in, leaning up the stairs. Mangus ready. And away from the flashbang, counter smoke back from the CT forces. Bit of a tighter gap, he still gets steps regardless. Sees that second player. Alex there with the trade at 10 seconds. Sunpias has got to get the bomb down, and Zadiz turns in a frag. Forsey does the exact same thing, and Enterprise will find the second.
And that looked fairly simple. Out from Enterprise, they played 2 on A, the AWP further back on the line, the E-Live just playing that bait and switch. The two of them find a lot of success. really where that round starts coming into its own, though, is how quickly the B players start rotating up, providing assistance with some of the util. That pizza angle looking up to the signpost and out at long was able to find a lot of success. Movistar Riders getting slowed down, and there's that chat with Blade. Have the coach involved. See if they can tighten things up.
Definitely going to make some improvements. Again, those last 2 rounds were most of them just walking into Enterprise, especially that mid-control take that they tried in that last round. They just walked out, barely any utility connected to any one of the CT forces. A lot of mistakes being made there. 3-2 to the board. Movistar still hold the lead, but for how long?
I don't know if it was a crazy mistake in that round. They still flashed the AWP off angle. It just could have either been well-timed or they needed some follow-up utility to really make it uncomfortable for him. And Forzie's definitely a player that, even though this event we haven't seen a crazy amount of, he's definitely the most well-known player on this lineup, just with how powerful he can be.
3 CTs out towards the B side defensive. Again, they've tried to put Elive in the mid-control. He's going pretty aggressive as well. He doesn't go overly aggressive, though. Set in to look for the information as Forzi looks for that opening pick. He connects it so well to Mopos. That's a start.
That's an opening man advantage, and now this starts making the eco really dwindle down. Yeah, you've got that hero AK in for Des. That's really going to be the power weapon, and even the CTs, they're starting to make an info play.
Well, good divider as Mattis turns on some Pius, gets the next frag to the 5 versus 3. Enterprise have control. Movistar. The line set. The T is just waiting. Bated breath, hoping for a mistake to be given up. But Enterprise have not given up anything. They've just found the kills pretty easily against these pistols. This hero AK has not found a chance to strike for deaths. Flashed in, taken down by Mattis. Mangus follows suit of the SMG. And this is going to be another shutdown round, it seems, for Enterprise. 1v5 for Davi. Overwhelmed by Eddies.
Now, Movistar Riders just getting pushed upon there. We saw the info play that started off that round, getting that first pick, then moving forward out to short pipe to get the 5-on-3. Well achieved with the AWP and then the follow-up aggression out on the B side, just to make it uncomfortable for some of the individuals outside of the monster control. And for Movistar Riders, really, they had more success at the RMR than they did at the Major. They beat Renegades in a best-of-1, 16-13. They also beat Tyloo in an incredibly close best-of-3 where it went 30 rounds on map 1, overtime in map 3. And when you put that forward, those were 2 non-EU teams.
Got to question how much stock it is, though, because EU is the dominant region, as we all know. Stage. 3 apiece. The flash is going over the SMG, just jump facing, looking for the information. They're doing out wallbang damage, and Mopos is the man that secures the first frag onto Forzi. So start out for the T's once again. Enterprise forced to back away. Not going to find a responsive, but there won't be any follow-up from Movistar either. They flash back into short, but they see nothing.
Yeah, slightly overconfident there from the AWP of Forzi. We saw in the last round he went for a monster pick. That time around he's getting boosted up, looking into connector, and eventually it's actually the short pipe player that drops him. Movistar Riders waiting for some follow-up aggression, and it comes right out again.
Wallbang straight to death. 4 versus 4. Mopos to lean into short. Better to be some CT aggression up that position. And there was, but it has fallen away as he's taking control. Matty's getting passed off an AK, so we can try and use that. Up into the 5 powers. Davi's also pressed the issue towards the A site. Will he get caught by the players at Bank or at Dumpster? Vade's position seen at the head. Elive might call him further back up. There's 3 players back here and a passive man over on the jungle position. As Mangus gets his pick, Davi's taken out, and that's the entire T presence on that site removed.
And now it makes things awkward because Movistar Riders were starting to rotate away up to A because of that information play. Now they've got to go back into the B side with really their eyes closed. This could just be another save attempt. No, they're going to try and go for it.
2 players to hold the crossfire. Smoke down. Mangus even there with the AWP trying to provide support. Max with a kill back. Mangus with another. Alex turns it around at the trade, but a 1 versus 4 frame overall. He's won that first frag. Needs to win 3 more. Eddies is close, and he gets overwhelms the man with a Tech 9 versus that AK. Enterprise, they have the lead on CT.
Yeah, they may have been better saving there. I looked at that situation 3v4. They've got no info on how many B players there are, and they don't really find a massive amount of success. This now feels as if even though that opening man advantage got punished, it was the response that came in. And Enterprise are always searching for impact, Jay. They lose that first pick, they flash over high, they get in from the sandbags, they press the issue into short. It doesn't work the first time, they do it again. It feels as if they're very proactive on the map.
Pistols now out for the T side line, a half by eco sort of basis. They have got Kevlar and helmets on several players. That's about $1,500 on the buyback. The Enterprise have really maintained their own as they rush their way back out to the B site. Adiz will catch off Mopaz and turn around on Davy G as well. Double up for the man. Mangus coming in with a bit more support. Struggles to get that kill. He eventually finds it. Adiz finds a third in this round, and Death's left alone with nothing to his name. No bomb, no real weapon, only one piece of utility. No Kevlar. It's going to be a 5th round for Enterprise.
Yeah, things are looking promising from them, and even a backstab in from behind means that Death's pretty much going to get caught off. There could even be a knife attempt. Oh, we actually checked it. Maddie's going to find the pick, and I didn't say this on broadcast, Jay, but when I was looking at these teams last night, I was looking at the best of ones and sort of seeing what we've got in front of me. All of the first 3 BO3s I had, I didn't think we'd have much. I think we just had the favorites doing their own thing, really overwhelming. We wouldn't see much from the underdogs, whereas this game was the only one really that I looked at and thought, hey, there's a chance here. There is a decent opportunity that Enterprise can surprise, and they really have been with these last 5 rounds.
Yeah, credit where it's due. Like, we kind of thought they'd get pumped in this best of one. We had the idea that this is probably going to be the end of the road for them. This group is going to be their demise. They already did well to get as far as they had so far here at V4. That's not really worked out how it has, though. Flash is in, they push ahead of those Molotovs here for the Movistar Riders of these. Once again, a kill gets found. Davy unable to trade Matty or Co in the back lines. 2 frags for him, and Sam Pius is desperate to find his trades. 5-on-2 scenario. Enterprise just locking down that B site. Movistar, so much damage done by the Incendiary, and then from there, the kills came easy.
And just sloppiness with some of the individuals, not quite connecting with those sprays completely, and Enterprise just capitalizing on that. It's something that Yanko was mentioning was Matty's of how great of an event he's had so far. I think you mentioned that he's 3rd highest rated player. He's been fantastic right here on this City side. Him on the defense at B, consistently getting multi-frags.
Eli and Sun Pius wondering where they go from here.
I like that they haven't just pushed completely forward. They're still realizing we don't want to get cocky about this.
Death's going to try and challenge onto Sun Pius. Move these 2 players, try catch Eli off if at all possible. Or just sit pretty with this crossfire, defend both entryways and hold on to their weapons, which honestly seems like that's the best option for them. No cash in bank. No way they fight out of this 2v5. Leave 6 rounds instead for Enterprise. And Movistar Riders have got to change up the line here. They keep losing a lot of very silly rounds. You mentioned the sloppiness. I feel like there's a bit of complacency involved there as well. And it will lead to 3 rounds in the lead on the CT side.
And they just had a lack of pace over the course of this T-half so far. Haven't seen much out towards long side at all. It feels as if very minimal success is even being found at Monster in the short pipe. You could even see they're trying to hunt down after time. They do drop the AWP at least. Defs is going to be able to hold on to his AK, so it's still a weapon being held in. Oh, here we go. Ooh.
Face
Who
reveal.
is that behind the sign? Oh, that is good. I like the polo shirts. I'm always a big polo shirts fan. I know the Gambit do it, Enterprise.
Yeah.
Kind of similar color scheme as well.
I don't know, not for me.
No? Be more of a jersey person?
Yeah. More of a t-shirt person, really, but...
Yeah, well, it's kind of a polo shirt. Not interested.
No. 6-3 to the board. More tactical timeouts, and these discussions are getting more intense for the Movistar Riders. Like, hype yourselves up, boys. More formation, more positivity, more confidence. Because they're better. Like, I don't think that's a controversial statement. They're the better team here. So why are they down by 3 rounds? Why are they letting Enterprise get their way? Need to do more to force the issue back out. Speaking of force the issue, Deaths has gone ahead and done that. He's the hero AK for this round.
Yeah, they've had a few hero AKs on this T side, and honestly, there hasn't been a lot of success being found from them.
No.
There's some more part control, some more emphasis towards long, and trying to over-rotate might be the key idea, and already look at the damage being done. At least Alex does strike.
Mangus to drop. Another AK in the hands of the T side now. Also just watching. Expecting more to come his way. Right to assume so. Sun Pius out. The birthday party position smokes onto the bathrooms from the stairs. Eli sits pretty close, hoping to catch them off guard. He may be in the right position to do so here.
Oh, the sound cue. Oh, he's going to hear that. Do they pre-aim it?
Got a dodge, catches him at the edge, gets that kill, and does burn a little bit, but find the 4 versus 4. The upper force is still watching. Nades back, no flashes in from the T side line. That's going to wait as Matties will find Mopaz next. So Advantage swings the way of the CTs. Flashbang back over though. Death's going to catch Forsey completely blind. Eli behind a smoke in at the bathrooms. Try to get ahead of this player. catch him for a kill. Nicely done. Advantage back in favor of Enterprise. 40 seconds to keep it going. As Davi now picks up the AK, looks into the bathrooms. Back
Cheeky.
turn, guys. They haven't checked it. They think he's back passive. He could be in for the backstab.
It all just comes down to a matter of timing, because now the A side could be completely opened up because they've started rotating Adage back to B.
They haven't even considered the idea that he's back in top of bathrooms. 20 seconds, bomb should commit soon. Fortunately for them, Eli is back over towards the long entrance. He has heard the footsteps and the flashbangs being sent over, so he'll try to get out to position. He can still deny this as an open plant. It will be planted for Truck, though.
Now, this is looking like a good retake coming through. This is the element of surprise.
Leans in. Finds his man, Alex to fall. All to Davi G now. 1v3. Falling off the truck in the midst of the smoke. I had a dumpster here in the footsteps. A flashbang coming in from mid. Still got his eyes set towards Bang, but they might push ahead of the smoke. You get called off for this. Swing upon, sees two, only gets the one frag, and it's another round for the CT side.
Now, Davi G is really struggling here for the Movistar Riders, and he's a decent player. He got picked up by that Iberian family, or from Iberian family, in with the likes of Des and Sampayas. Definitely is more of a supportive player, not a star on this team, but still, when you've got a player going into the 11th round with only one kill, that does not look pretty at all, and this streak of rounds is getting so far out of hand. Finally, there's at least a bomb plant to talk about for Movistar Riders, because a lot of those rounds, there just wasn't any plants.
Once again, the favourites in these best of ones struggle to get these best of one starts. At the very least. Still time for it to turn it around here for Movistar Riders, but the way this game is going down, like, it's not looking that great. We've seen so many times over the course of the last handful of days in our best of one match days, things have fallen apart so effectively for the favourite squads. Movistar Riders could be the next victim on the list.
Again, I think this comes down to a misread on the veto. This is one of the best maps in the pool to come through from Enterprise. They pick it very frequently in best of threes. And now trying to play them on the best of one. Rumbu's coming out to the long position. Forzy's not even going to have an opportunity to strike.
Get out of dodge. No reason to stick around there. Set that AWP in position. We just wait. 1 minute and 10 to the clock. Davi leans in with the AKs, checking out the bathrooms. Still not seeing anything at this moment here. Eli will lean forward for the CT side. But it's so passive, as it has always been.
I like the way that Enterprise are playing on the CT side. They're always searching for information. They're prodding the map. They're making a couple of aggressive duels. You can see this crossfire in from the bathrooms looking solid. There has to be a jiggle or a flash off angle.
Up at the ready. Molotov off position. Eli's going to swing ahead of it, get the kill on the first and the second before Death finally gets that trade. Forcey with a flashbang out to the mid control, backed up to the back lines of the A site, falls forward by the Molotov, but still finds a reface, and a shot rings out. It doesn't connect to Death though. He's trying to bait him in a bit closer. Second shot does not connect. Mangus there forced to the trade. Alex going to respond to him. A 3-on-2 situation. Enterprise, 10 seconds to hold off against the Movistar Riders, and Alex has finally found one. It's down to Matisse. He swings upon the bonfire area, gets the double up, and denies the site once again. Enterprise with 8. Movistar Riders getting wrecked now.
Enterprise are playing good Counter-Strike, Jay. You have a look at their protocol there. Okay, the LWP gets mollied. Look at what the Eli's able to do. He presses forward and gets 2 kills. A fantastic multi-frag. And then even with that, everyone is trading off one another. Yes, the AWP of Forzy, he struggles in that position. Out in Truck, out in Pizza, he doesn't have the easiest of time. The support that comes through from the player behind default, in from long, the rotation up from Bank, everyone is so on point here for Enterprise.
They're looking fantastic. Movistar Riders are not. Half has already been won by the CT side. There's a consolation prize of the fact that this map is generally pretty CT heavy for both sides in terms of their history. There might be something more in the second half for Movistar. Enterprise, right now, they're the ones that are in control. Going to try and force forward towards long, it feels like, for Eli. Except with the AWP of Forcey, ready for a quick peek out of the T-side line from that long position. It's working towards mid for the Ts.
And Movistar Riders just desperate, searching for some sort of opening man advantage, which has just not come for a while. And even the contention in from the bathrooms could allow Forzy to get an opening pick. Matty's getting flashed in, gets dealt with by Des.
5 on 4. Pick up for Movistar Riders to start things off. It goes quiet again. Got a D set to the back lines. M4 watching for boosts, looking onto short, looking onto Monster. Spray through, catches the frag, 4 versus 4. So got plenty more players to deal with and eventually does get overwhelmed with the numbers. Advantage for the Movistar side, and I believe that they probably should get the round off the back of this. 2 players pushing up towards long will try to get a rotation involved. They could get cut off as well by Alex. He's hearing the footsteps. Catches the shot. AWP also spotted. And with this 4v2 scenario, Movistar Riders should now have the round.
That was a good mid-round call coming through. The lurk even for Alex is doing a lot of damage, does eventually get traded by the orb. And you can even see for the B player, there was only 1 kill that came through and he was alone. They gamble stacked on A in that round.
Seeing Mangus can try to trade things back and try to get something else, some sort of exit on the B side at least. Does find Davi, doesn't connect the full kill shot. Diving into the site here. He's going to try to go for a defuse. This is very ballsy. No smoke. Yeah, she does have one. Picks one up on the way down. Deaths, however, takes out the frag. There will be no ninjas today. This will be a 4th round for Movistar Riders regardless. Still, though, with the 8 that they had on Enterprise, the economy's built so well, so we could have afforded to go for a risk like that.
And I start thinking to myself as well, for the Movistar Riders, are we just overestimating this team that's 17th in the world? Yeah, they did very well at the RMR. They did okay at the Major. What about some of the other results? 13th, 15th in Pinnacle. 13th, 14th in ESEA Premier. Blast Premier Full Spring Showdown? They didn't even win a map against VP, out in last place. You have a look at them in relegation, okay, they got the spot back. Okay, locally they're able to get the conference spot against Offset and Saw. You put that into the conclusion and you start thinking to yourself, they actually haven't had that many great results in the last 3 months.
Definitely much further than what you would put Enterprise.
Yeah, no, definitely. But again, this, I mean, it's comparing the 17th best team in the world against the 55th, so that does make a lot of sense.
Regardless, Movistar Riders should not be in this position. They should, in theory, they should be the ones that are on the 8-4 up score line. So far, the CT side has definitely been dominant. Movistar will try find a new line in. Deaths to lean in to connect to join his teammates out in mid. Flashes over, will try force the CTs off of angle, but they've got the majority of players looking at the monster crossfire on B.
Yeah, some of the stack players again, oh, they're going to retake some of this short water control. Mopos has got to be careful for these CTs aggressing forward.
Seeing some utility, it's Forzy instead to open up on Deaths, looking into connector with the door being opened up. Kill found, man down, and still less than a minute to play with Movistar to go for the hit. Being down by a player, they need to find a trade. Smoking from Matty should allow his teammate to cross. Whenever he's ready to put it up, one comes in from his teammate instead.
That's very handy, because now 35, 36 seconds on the clock, they've got another resmoke that can go down towards this monster position. And for Movistar Riders, they do not have the time to start cancelling and going to A. They have to commit B here.
And they caught a blind tag past that smoke at least. We timed it well against the Ds. They're still holding the crossfire. Flash head, M4 spray, Matties with a frag back, and Ds drops the bomb as well. 2 left standing now for the T-side line as Enterprise look to get away with sheer confidence on another round again. 10 seconds left, and Alex and Sampayas have no choice but to save.
Now Alex just looking for some further damage, get a pick onto a G's, but it's not really much to be happy about. And even a great pick for Alex. It doesn't quite come through as that time expires, unfortunately. That was kind of expected though, Jay. Less than 40 seconds on the clock, a re-smoke comes down from an A player, and you've got another B anchor playing close monster wall with another smoke. You have to push through that. And any time you're pushing through a monster smoke, it's very difficult for the T side to get entries.
You're continuing to see frustrated faces and frustrated notions from Movistar Riders. Second tactical called in by them. You halfway just wonder what's going on in that camp, what the discussion is being said, what words are being exchanged between these players. You can see how animated it is. Like, they must be frustrated beyond belief.
Well, they won the first 3 rounds of the game. They won the pistol, they won the anti-force buy, they won the eco, and they've got 4 rounds in total, which is just disappointing, really, for Movistar Riders to not get much going over on the T side. Enterprise have outclassed them by a country mile.
5 rounds the difference.
Jeez, Davy G still 1-10.
My word, you're right. Not great. Definitely not great. You compare that to Matthews, who's currently the man kicking and screaming for Enterprise. 16 frags deep for him, and it's just night and day what we're seeing from these boys. And, well, CT mop up once again. 2-for-1 traders. At least they do find Mangus. But they've lost Avi, they've lost Sampayas. It's an advantage for Enterprise.
They're an exciting team to watch. They've found so much success being prod in from Connector and from that short water position, that now they go for an aggressive peek out to that long position. And even when we say play the numbers game, 4-on-3 advantage, they still aggress Monster looking for a fight. It's a 4v2. They are so hungry for everything, Enterprise.
Swing in. Oh, yes! He missed his chance to find Eli. At least Alex can get the trade onto him so they can find out, get a trade together, turn around, advantage back to evens to the 2 versus 2. That's ahead of that smoke finding Forzy, and now they press towards the A side. Matties is the man on the defensive, and what a player to trust in the 1v2 context. Molotovs with position backups trying to arrive in from mid. He takes his face, he finds deaths, gives him some deaths. Alex wants to spot him out, so he can jump face, but that allows it ease to press forward in from mid to drop the last player, get 10 to the board of Enterprise. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy. Where do we go with this for Movistar now?
It just feels as if everyone is delivering, and Matties, what a guy. 18 kills, 4 deaths. I remember seeing some glimpses of him when he was playing on the Brute lineup over there with Adij before he joined up with Enterprise and some of the lower tiers. And he was alright, he was definitely a good player. But since he's joined Enterprise, he's really stepped up and been someone special.
Last round of the half for Movistar on the T side, and again they have their CT half coming up, which probably could be the turnaround moment with the way that they're playing right now. Mangus getting his own time in the spotlight. 3 frags, dropping the bomb. Uncontested, barely 37 HP, he's still alive. And already this round should be done, right?
Movistar Riders lost to that exact same play in the last round. How are they not capitalizing on it? Devs is the last one left in a 1v5. This is just such a blinder of a game from Enterprise. They are absolutely feeling it. The aggressive moves are working out. And Movistar Riders, come on, give me something.
That's as a Galil. Flashbang out towards long to try and give you what you ask for. He's blinded off one player. And Nays with position, Forzy with the AWP shot straight to the head. Splattering T-side brains all across birthday. 11-4. My party definitely is always a riot. Enterprise. Just dominant. And I mean, it's great seeing the numbers that we've been seeing from them, and I do agree that, yeah, they have had a blinder of a matchup thus far. This is disappointing from Movistar, though.
Yeah, it's embarrassing again, like the Sinners result, honestly. We have a look at how Overpass got played out last time. They started City side, they got 9 rounds, it was 16-11 overall, it was pretty comfortable. Right here, though, just feels as if they had an early start, things went well, and then they got 1 out of 12 rounds, which is just ridiculous. And to know that they fell to the exact same play 2 times in a row, as someone like Blade as the coach who's on the background and can't actually be there in the server, he's just looking overview, he's got to be thinking, my goodness, what is going on here?
It's a good question to ask. No answers, I don't think, can come from either of us, most certainly. Julie's out for 2 individuals for the Movistar Riders camp as they get passed off a couple of anti-raid bosses for the pistol round. And again, if there's one half they can turn it around in, it would be the CT half. I'm still praying that there's some competency from these guys from here on out. But with the way this game has played out thus far, I have to doubt it. Sunpius, finally, 2 kills to his name, but Matties goes back with 2 more. Mopos trays, Forzy brings it back to evens. Bomb can get picked up and planted.
What a recovery this has been for Matties. Couple of kills, getting that bomb plant in. Both players from Movistar Riders coming in from different angles, and Deaths has been seen.
Spotted out Mangus, not seeing Forzy yet. Might even see him peek out of the left-hand side. He might just try to bait him in, but Destiny still gets the kill. It's all down to Mangus. P250 in hand. Kevlar to work with. Here's the one player. Not ready for the short individual. Slips back, but can't land the headshot. And the Julies do work out for Alex, at least at long last. Something coming in for Movistar Riders, and they've got every reason to high-five themselves. If this is the start of the comeback, well, this is going to be big.
2 for 2 in pistols coming out for Movistar Riders, so you can give them credit in that regard for sure. The way they played that 2v2, it felt as if there was maybe some panic coming through from Enterprise. Rather than trying to play it passive and try and play behind the pillar position, they just start over-peaking. They don't quite swing together. A good shot lands by Des, and then they can just start combining in, peak on one another, make sure that they're putting pressure on. And for Movistar Riders, they'll know they're going to be up against a force buy. Knowing a bomb plant went down, 3 kills, they're definitely going to buy it up on the T side.
Guns into the AKs, the Galil's on 2, Mac 10 and Tech 9 will round out the buy. We have a bit of a weakness, but obviously bomb plant bonus in the second round. Expected to see this from Enterprise. A couple of M4s in for the CT forces for Master and SMG as well. The map control established by EP. They're in connector. Looking out from the mid control. It's Deaths that turns away from their positions. They flash their way out. Didn't even need that utility, but safety anyway. Information gains. He spots out one. It might be a faster play from Enterprise here. Nades up to try and suppress it. Bounces off that wall, so it doesn't do any damage. The engagement from Deaths drops that box. Sees it ease as well, but the MAC-10 turns around to frag Alex there with a responsive. Forsey taps his head clean off, and Sampaius gets spotted out the corner. Lands on one. Challenges that second. Gets that double up frag. It's Forsey left alone on the 1 versus 3. And now Movistar Riders are going.
Oh, I don't know about that, mate. They've got 2 rounds in a row. We'll see. They've got themselves in a position where they dealt with the force buy. They didn't let the bomb go down, so that means there's not going to be a follow-up round coming through from Enterprise. And Sampaius out from that long position, I'll give him credit, because he slowed that round down. He was able to find a multi-frag. He deals with that long lurk, which is really the important one, and rotations come up pretty quickly from that B side.
Pretty wonderfully done, at least in that round in isolation. Enterprise now down to the pistols, the full eco with no bomb plant bonus, so no force buy as you would expect. Upgrades are here. Deagle, P250 on 2. 1 Tech 9 there as well. No Kevlar or utility though, so let's see if they can just go so far as a bomb plant. Maybe that'd be the best thing that they can get out of this round, but even that's pretty unlikely. Long control has been established. If they can overwhelm Deaths, then they can charge up that position. Try to look for that bomb plant on A. He's caught looking the wrong way, but they haven't spotted him either.
Nice.
They snuck past. They might think they're safe.
This is a way that they could just start walking into A. That's unfortunate the bomb gets dropped, because that was actually looking like a pretty decent timing for Enterprise to start having some backstabs, start having some lurks, catch some of the CTs off guard. Now the round's pretty much done.
Yeah, now it's got the next player up to sight. Dealt with by Alex. And Mangus in the 1v5. It was such a powerful position as well to get past that one player in bathrooms. Shame he got ripped apart by the SMG and the M4. Deaths will finally pay for his kill. Mangus to get rid of that M4 to ensure that the CTs lose a little bit of investment at least. Try to get that AK out if at all possible, but Sampaius there with the frag back. And we'll realise that you can only get that SMG. Can't recover that M4. Now comes the real test for Movistar. You mentioned the pistol conversions. Now they've got the guns to contend against. Full AKs and AWP across the T-board.
Yeah, they've got Sampaius on the AWP, and he has been a revelation over the last couple of months. He's been a guy that not a lot of people have known a massive amount. He's only 22 years old, hasn't had a lot of experience playing at the higher echelons of Counter-Strike. He's good with the AWP, though.
That he most certainly is. Leans in. Look out for somebody here in the T-Con entrance. See anything in that first phase. It's Forza that takes the early damage to the Enterprise side. Movistar how to set up on their defaults and continue playing out passive, just like Enterprise will the same. Bomb is out of T-Con as well, but can get picked up and rotated. It's not like it's in a very forward position. The most forward player of the CT side that can challenge that is Sampaius.
Thinking about just putting some nades up into that boost position. There is one player close to that angle, which is Alex, down to 92. Only 1 HE comes in, so not a crazy amount of damage being done. For Enterprise, they are forcing the CTs to be quite passive, not really too many aggressive angles. Sampaius with the AWP in from the bathroom. You'd have to imagine he's going to get mollied or at least flashed off if they do want to try and take some further control towards A.
Jindier has come in from the CTs against the boost bot position, expecting that someone's going to go for that. Saw that nade stack or that nade position on the boost on the CT side. Expect that maybe the Enterprise might want to play for that. He's just wasted utility though. Nobody's out there to go for that setup. It's just lurk plays. Bomb yet to commit, but it's still in middle. The AWP is Sampaius sees one. Shot on the second connects.
That was some poor information gathering really coming through from Enterprise, just clearing up that angle without even really checking the AWPer and get picked off because of it. And now they're going to start a walkout for Monster.
AK walks up for Mangus. Flashes over. Into the smoke, 15 seconds. They've got to make a move here. They've got to catch Davi. Still that flash is not good enough. He finds a blind spray. Matty's on site, challenges the man, gets that trade. Moppers are still close. Not detected. Bomb plant could still be denied with simultaneous kills from Sampaius and Alex, forcing out to escape with his life and bring in 8 for Movistar.
Overpass T-side can get to a... Oh, I thought that AWP was going to fall after time. Overpass T-side is one of those where if momentum starts getting taken away from you, it can be very difficult to feel as if you've got a way back in, to open up a round, to be able to put pressure back on. And we just saw it there. Just the AWP having free range of the bathrooms, easy picking from Sampaius. They're able just to stack up that B bomb side. And even that flash is relatively well timed. It's unfortunate that they're not able to get the kill onto the barrels player. And then once that bomb just is so limited with the time, just save. Bring that AWP into the next round.
Tactical pause for Enterprise here. Their first of the matchup. They haven't needed to take any up to this point. They lost the pistol conversions and now the first gun round. They have to save that AWP. So the one question that they'll be asking during this tac pause is, do we force around it? I don't think they will opt to do so. So they upgrade pistols, the Deagles in, which could still suffice.
Yeah, it means that if they can get a bomb plant in this round, then Forzy will be okay of getting an AK. One of his teammates could probably drop him an AWP into the next round. Again, it comes down to the amount of damage they're able to find here. Movistar Riders, it's really the best outcome they could have had of how they started this second half.
CT recovery on the table. Scoring 4 in a row. Going to carry that on as this half moves on. daviG into the short position. Will lean up with the M4. And open up Squeak door and challenge onto the T-side players. Orpa Sumpire sees the door open, sees a shoulder of a one-man, and he spammed his way on daviG. 7 points of HP.
A lot of damage being done. This should be a player they could pick up relatively easy later into the round. AWP from Sumpires, they know that he's playing out to B.
Took a pop shot, couldn't connect it. Adiz was down low. Tags up are there for the CT Forces, dishing out similar amounts to what they did to daviG a little bit earlier on during this round. 50 seconds remaining. Warm-up stacking from 2 positions. Entries towards the A site from long and from bathrooms. Eliav will start to lean in via long. The Orc right behind him. Alex is sorry to cut him off though. Incendiary to force him forward. Get that kill to open up the kill count for the CT Forces. Sideline swipe from Deaths. Finds 2 players. The bomb dropped and everything. AWP, the only rifle to work with. Forzy can catch that 1 exit. No more than that though. Triple up for Deaths. The pistols will fall. And it's 11-9 to the favor of Enterprise.
Yeah, things are starting to come about now for the Movistar Riders. They're starting to play with some form. They're starting to peek off each other really well. And some of the individuals are stepping up again. There are still some limited numbers when it comes to daviG and Famolpos. Sumpire seems to be getting some form. We see Alex and Defs really starting to get some kills up there. Matty's over on the T side. Probably need to see more from him.
Seeing him in with the AK here. 21 frags in deep for this player though. He's still having a lot of impact. He's had a lot of impact thus far here for Enterprise. Maybe he has slowed down. There's one to watch though. You're right about that. Orps in, AK save for Deaths. M4s on 3 other individuals for the Movistar. Sumpire will lean in with his Orb to try to find the frag on the long presence. There are 2 players out there. Hold this crack angle at the signpost. Flash in bathroom. Deaths is ready for the face. He loses that fight. Matty's to open up. Sumpire still looking for the trade. Will he extend? He won't. He'll just receive the shot.
That's a great trade back. And now there's an opportunity for Addy to try and put some pressure on. They can actually get Mangus walking through out for Monster if they really want to try and see if they can crunch Mopos in on this B site alone. With that counter incendiary, they've missed their opportunity.
Stopping the push in from Enterprise for the time being. A 4 versus 4 situation. The bomb's going to make its way in towards short. The 4th player will join them at Monster. That's Forzy on the way in behind Mangus. Deez will be the first man out of the gate. Are there flashes to work with? Yes, there are. From his teammate at Mangus, though. Coming in relatively soon. Facing in completely dry instead. They might not be ready for this, and indeed they're not. They 2 line up for Alex, though. He only finds the 1 pick as him and daviG fall. He leaves it all on Sumpires now to clutch this 1v3. Is it better to save?
Probably better off. Hold on to the money situation. And I'll be honest, Jay, I don't know how Enterprise won that round. That was such a beautiful stack in for Movistar Riders. They leave Sumpires alone on A. They're playing 3 on B right there for Movistar Riders when the time is low. And Enterprise, they just crack it open. They get some great entries. That HE kill that even came through from Mangus was really important. And Enterprise, they've ended the streak.
Let me present a little theory for you, because you saw Deez leaning out from short position, right? And I was saying, calling that entire time, okay, someone's going to flash him. Someone's going to flash him. Mangus is going to flash him, right? Didn't get flashed, peeked in dry, and then from there, everyone in water fell. Do you think that was because they were expecting a flash themselves?
For the CT side?
Yeah.
Yeah, possibly they're playing anti-flash. At the same time, you're probably thinking that you're going to get wrapped in from the monster position, so you're keeping your eyes on towards that barrels on the left side of the pillar position. Could just be some miscommunication coming through from Movistar Riders, because both players are really in the exact same position there. They don't have a lot of distance between them.
Guns come back from Movistar, of course. They still have a little bit of money cash available to them. M4's AWP is standard. AKs across the board for Enterprise, and the Positions peeked out to T-Con for E-Live. The first man out of the gate to try and look for CT presence, but they're much more passively here for Movistar Riders. The first frag does come in towards the B side, where they're far more pushed up. Pius up against Matties kicks things off.
And that hurts for Enterprise. Just when you've been able to end the streak, you've got your first round on T side, you lose the opening pick to the AWPA. They're now going to start putting some slow walk aggression down here towards this divider and Bathroom's position. For the matter of timing, and actually Defs catches another. This is a 5-on-3.
There we go, Movistar Riders. Early trades in, no frags back for Enterprise. Forsey. AK looks up and over. AWP will jump face for Pius to look for the information towards that mid position, or keep his eyes set towards long. Like a quick pop shot as CT is going to give chase. Deaths can't catch that player, so should maintain the 5v3.
Mangus looking to try and see if he can win an individual fight out to B, and he does. That's at least a way back into the round. Still, though, for Enterprise, they don't have a lot of map control to work with. They don't have a lot of nades. They've only got flashes and a couple of smokes.
Jump face from Alex is seen at ease here. Tagged up to 80. Smokes down towards the heaven position. Mangus will continue taking face, continue looking. CT presence, 25 seconds to the clock. They start the walkout. Alex still set towards ramps. Got Mopos right behind him. When do they see T-side presence? When do they catch these players? Flashes over. Ad's seen. Mopos still waiting. Bomb will go down in the open. Mopos could deny it. Is a little bit high with his spray downs though. Expecting it to be on the far side of the corner and not near. So Plant secured in the 5 versus 3. Ad spots out 2 and sprays them down. They line up for the AK, and just like that, Enterprise, they take control. The Orba Pius, 1 response, no more than that. And Death's out of heaven. Now the known entity here. Mangus is going to hide. As for the D's behind default, Shadow Scene spray transfer does not work out, and Enterprise recover the 13th.
What an insane round coming out from Enterprise. Aggies, I think we've got to start remembering his name. My goodness, he gets a 3K in on that bomb side. They're trying to get the bomb down. They're able to do that successfully, and then he goes on top of default. I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, geez, this is ballsy. This is so aggressive, and he wins so many fights because of it. And then when they're playing the 2v1, they just peek together and Mangus gets the round over and done with. Look at this sequence from Addies. That is a massive round, and they're feeling it. Look at the hype behind them.
They know how important this could be to them as well, to beat out Movistar Riders. You mentioned the difference with them being one of the top, was 17 in the world, wasn't it? Enterprise not pinned to win this match at all, and here we are. Finding Mopos to start in this very broken buyback. They have the Hero M4, but pistols outside of that for Movistar. Osbonus must be wrecked as well. Molotov's in, AK leaning out of these. Watching for more. Smokes down. They look in. They see the one player. The Molotovs will try to burn him out of position over towards water. Adis will wrap all the way around. See his one player. Catch Davies. He ready for the player at bridge. He tapped him. And will find the frag in the end. Pius with 1 trade, but he's on 15. Bomb's going down.
Yeah, you might as well both players just save here. Pius has got a Deagle, a Flash, some Kevlar. You've got the M4A1S as well. It's not really worth looking for exits. You're not going to do a massive amount of economical damage. Enterprise getting up to 14, and remember in the last head-to-head they played, which was that 2-0 series in a BO3, was during the ACA Premier Season 38 relegation. Now, they lost that game to Movistar Riders and then lost to Copenhagen Flames, and they got relegated straight back to Advance. So this is almost payback, saying, you put us in a position where we bombed out of an event, we want to bounce back.
We're in our online season, we'll ruin your landmark.
Yeah.
Because Movistar Riders in the next 2 rounds could be knocked into the lower bracket, into the elimination game in our group stage. And that is a prospect that you do not want to consider. 14-9, Enterprise. Consider that 1 frag to Eli, so the smart call, as you mentioned, was to save the weapons, but the one thing you didn't account for was the fact that Pius got that frag down at bottom of the underpass position, so we can grab that rifle, have an extra bit of firepower to play with. And the rebuy should come through for the CT side. A tactical pause, the 4th and final one for Movistar Riders. Because they've done so well, they've worked so hard to bring us back to this position, bring us back within contention of this matchup, and still they could let it all fall apart.
And the last time we saw Movistar Riders get involved with the V4 sort of circuit, right, was back in 2019, where they participated in the online European qualifier, where they only went 5th to 8th. They didn't even have an opportunity of getting to the LAN event. So this is now, oh, we've been invited. We didn't have to qualify this time. Opening best of 1. Jeez, we're down 9-14.
Again, it has been a bit of a theme so far here in V4 that all the best of 1 seem to see upsets, so it's
5 out of 7, right? That's a crazy amount.
Yeah, well, this will be 6 out of 8, I think, if this match goes the way it's gone. It's supposed to go, at least. 14-9, 2 rounds. Enterprise to win it all. Eli boosted up, run boost across. Doesn't spot anything out towards long. Matties will continue charging up as they look towards the A site and the hit towards their bomb is on the back of Eli with some pious. Orb set, catches the frag, wonderfully done.
They're just trying to jiggle. They're just seeing if they can get some long control. They've left that late lurk of Mangus back out to the T-Con area, going into Connector. They've lost that first pick out from long, and that's not the first time that's happened from some Pious.
Looking up with the AWP, continuing to hunt the players out towards mid. Taps burst from Adiz. Wallbang damage being done to Sunpius. A great read is going to peek direct to that AWP though and let all that work go to waste. 5-on-3 now for Movistar.
And now the AWP is just wrecking them apart, getting these individual picks, falling back to site, holding on to the advantage. And for Enterprise, they need one of these individuals to really show up on the AXE.
40 seconds. Eli and 4C. Crack angle being spotted there. Not seeing anything ahead of it. The CTs are so passive. They're going to bait Enterprise right into the center of the A site and converging upon them. 3 individuals to watch out for. Death is going to take an early face here. Might even catch Mangus off. He's made his way downstairs in Connector. Last second rotates perhaps. They're going out towards long. This is a very awkward.
Save.
They're saving.
Yeah.
They're saving here.
Makes sense.
It's a 5v3. I guess it kind of makes sense. I honestly thought they were going to commit though.
Well, the issue they're facing is they don't have any information. Everyone's regrouped together, so they don't know if the CTs have aggressed out to short water, if they've aggressed monster. They don't know how many players are playing down onto that B site, how much util has been drawn. So 3v5, we've lost a couple of picks to the AWP up. There's not a lot of time to work with. Let's just save. Let's hold on to our weapons. Let's not throw our money away.
14-10. A little bit of room to make up here for the boys over from the Movistar side, but they are still back on track. They are still looking like a decent CT force, and the AWP boost attempted but failed from Enterprise. Hope to catch off somebody on the heaven position, but alas, here we are. Complete dismantling of the default setting towards Monster for the most part here. EP blind firing ahead of Wallbangs, connecting not much. Walking into the mid control now.
Yeah, that's the risk of trying to get that tower boost up immediately, is when you have it really quick, you can often just completely bottle it up and not get it in. Enterprise, at least this time around, they haven't lost that opening fight to some Pious. It seems as if that's the reason, because they haven't taken any long control.
Take bathrooms instead for Matties, looking out along the entrance towards the bathrooms themselves. They'll walk up. The Molotov's down. The AK on the back of the site of Deaths. Expecting there to be some contact soon. He's got some Pious that can provide support from long when it needs to be happening. Flashbang turned away from. Smoke to buy some cover and keep his left side locked. Eli peeks in the right though. Domes him immediately in the back of the head. And I feel like that might be enough to force Movistar into submission. The AWP's going to wrap around towards bathrooms. He's got a challenge directly onto 4C's AWP. The CTs will also counteract towards Dumpster, and now Sunpius has been spotted. Shot rings out, Matties gets the kill, and yeah, from here it's done.
Yeah, I think so. I think you just got to back off and save. There's really no way into that round, and you can see the call instantly. What a quick shot that was coming through from DE Live to open up that bomb site. That is a cracker. And even Matties, he backed him up. You could see the way that Sunpius feels as if he's got to play. He knows a lot of his teammates are coming up from that bank and dumpster area. Okay, I need to pull some distractions. I need to create some space, force an over-rotation of players looking out to that long position. He only gets attacked. He doesn't even deal with Matties entirely.
1 HP for him as well. He was so close to death. And even Alex falls to the bomb blast. 2 alive. They are happy and they're thankful that they have at least a little bit of cash that they can rebuy with, because Movistar Riders now up against match point against Enterprise to be another victim of the best of 1 magic. as we have seen so many thus far here in V4. Dwayne, you're shaking your head wide-eyed as anything.
Yeah, this is probably the more expected one, but to think that 5 out of 7 BO3s or BO1s to now turn into 6 out of 8 are all being upsets, it is crazy to think about.
Yeah, 15 to 10. One more round to go. Matty's already tagged up early, so that's a nice positive start here for Movistar at the very least. Nades back, burst fire, wall bangs attempted so far, so little damage outside of that early contact against Matthew's part. Minute and 10, 20 still to play with here.
And out to this connector position, we haven't seen Movistar Riders make a lot of aggressive moves here at all. And some pies with that AWP, crossfiring to the bathrooms with a teammate. This is a setup that needs to work and deliver for Movistar.
Walking slowly into the mid-control, you have got Deaths and Sumpire set and ready to receive positions in both entries towards bathrooms at Divider and main. M4 turned away from Adiz to give up the first frag. Found. Second as well. 5 on 3 now gained. Enterprise almost losing the triple. 4Z has found a responsive, but so does Sumpire. Leaving Matty's on 8 points of HP. The AWP in his hands. Expected to peek out towards the mid side. And that bomb on his back as well. Separated so far from Mangus. It looks like Movistar Riders might maintain their lives for just a little bit longer.
Yeah, it looks that way. Matty seeing if he can entry out to the bomb site, just doesn't happen at all. Gets picked off by Alex. And for Mangus, probably better just to hold on to his AK in this sort of scenario. There's no way he's going to be able to win out this round. Movistar Riders getting up to their 11th, and even just that M4 play that comes through that allows a multi-kill. The AWP doesn't even get set up for that bait and switch just yet. Mangus finally sees where that AWP is coming from, and if they can get this kill after time, that could make some impact.
He's trying his best to get more kills here. Mangus is about to fall after time here. Baiting breath, getting a kill back, so damage has been done to Movistar at least, and now he can force in the save. So they're going for a bit more than what you really bargained for. So there it is, 11 to the board of Movistar Riders. Another survival round involved for these boys. 4 more to go. Enterprise, of course, they have the cash available, so they will rebuy the guns.
And it just shows how much of a slow start it was overall in the first half for Movistar Riders, that even with them showing us some decent signs on their CT side, Jay, it's that they had a 3-0 start, they went down 4-11 at the turn of the half, and it's been difficult to grind these rounds back. Enterprise, just one more to go from them, and they've got a good guy in front of them.
Smokestack standard. Blind spray from Mangus, gets Mopos and all. They've been doing pretty decent reads. They've been taking pretty decent reads down to that monster bangle. Through the smokes, they found the spray, doing damage to several players. The first time they found a kill with it, though.
That is just fantastic. And it could not have come at a better time here for Enterprise for a pick like that. And now they can start trying to see if they can bait in some mistakes. At least short water has been taken by Davy G. He's quite aggressive.
Smokes on position again. Suppressed monster. Not like that makes a difference to the Enterprise side. Walks up for Mangus, and Davy G's aggressed here towards short water. Can he find the pick? Can he find the trade? Flashbang turned away from all sides. Adiz wins that fight. It's now down to 3. Movistar Riders, 50 seconds to hold off against, and the B side only has 1 player to hold it. It's Alex. Ready and raring to receive, but how much can he get done? Swing in advance, sees 2, gets neither kill. And now to look towards the Monster Force. Eventually the crossfire's locked. Mangus and Forsey with those kills. So Python a 1 versus 5. It's going to be a clean sweep round for Enterprise and a 16-11 to close out the best of 1. Make it 6 upsets out of 8 as they send Movistar down to the lower bracket. Happy to do so as well.
Fantastic result coming through from Enterprise. They beat Vista, they beat Team Hungary in that upper bracket best of 3. And now they've got a win over Team 17th in the world of Movistar Riders in a BO1. What a result out from Enterprise. And for Movistar Riders, we had Davy G dropping 4 kills and Mopos with 7 at the end of the 27th round. I mean, what's that about?
Yeah, it definitely doesn't feel that great from these guys. Like, I see elements where it's like teams like Enterprise and teams of that sort of caliber, they're doing work in terms of, having an overperformance. But I also look at that, and I took a look at those numbers that you mentioned there for Movistar and think, what happened here, boys?
Yeah, again, slow start, really. You had the early pistol round that went your way, and then everything like that just fell apart in that first half. Even in the second, they got a good streak, and then towards the end, they bottled it again.
Indeed, they have, and that is 6 of our favourite teams in best of 1 records that have bottled it so far. We still have madness. Banks said earlier that order had been restored. I don't think he's saying that anymore. Are you, mate?
No, the upset seemed to continue, throw it all out the window. Enterprise certainly had a good fight on their hands here, but maybe this is part of that factor where they've played the map before. Movistar come in and won it, and we see a bit of the learning addition come through.
No, I just think the Q mentor has been restored by me coming in. Because I saw Kasab.
I love you just pull this one back onto you.
He was getting a little bit too loose, so you needed someone to like pull him back in.
Like always. I have Yanko to calm me down every time.
Yeah, but someone who wasn't that calm was Enterprise. I mean, the best of one, you lose both pistols, 3-0 down first half, 5-0 second half, and they still managed to close it down 16-11. That was some impressive performance from them.
The thing is, like, the CT side they showed on this map was exactly what they needed to win the actual best of one against the favorite team. They did a long setup, connector setup, short setup, like all these kind of things that would get them the early kills, so they can just finish up the round. And they did. They didn't make any mistakes outside of obviously the first 3 rounds. They lost the pistol, and the following rounds, which is not technically a mistake. It's just they just lost them. But after that, they just kept everything under control. They didn't do much on the T side, but neither did Movistar Riders. On the CT side, they were completely static, right? They didn't do anything special. Nothing aggressive on the CT side from them, and it cost them at the end. It just
I think they were just too safe. They were playing a little bit too scared, really. They could feel like the game was slipping away, and they feel they're the better team. So okay, let's not do anything risky. We'll just beat them somehow, right? But even that, like in the second half, I mean, they lost a 5v3 out of nowhere, really, where.
It's just a misplay on the side.
A player on B, just Davik, who has 4 kills. I mean, he gives up the first kill there. He's holding an off angle, which is but the main rule, the rule is 5v3. Don't give them 1v1s. Just don't do it. You just shoulder pick for information. You see him there, then you both swing the player from barrels and you together, and then you get the trade at least, right? So yes, in theory, he's supposed to get the kill, but that's what happens when you don't. All of a sudden, the round becomes weird. Then Adex makes a play from on top of the bomb side. Gets another double kill. They swing together in a 2v1. Great team play. They were just playing together all the time.
Even if you end up in an off angle like that, if you end up giving up the kill, you need to make sure somebody's ready to swing to trade you instantly. Because it's a 4v3 and then it's a 4v2 after you get traded, right? It's a little mistakes in playing too safe on that CT side because they were 4-11 down. It's just what cost them right now, and they're making their lives so much harder right now.
And we got some of the clips we can play to demonstrate some of this as well, right?
Yeah, because I was talking about some of the early setups that they were doing, which were pretty good. That sometimes, overpass is so big, you have to gamble a little bit. But I like the mid-round plays that they did. So you can see in the mid-round here, they're getting control of sewers, which is crucial. And I was saying Movistar is a great team, understands the map really well. Well, I mean, here they're trying to surprise them a little bit, but it's just, it's really hard to get out like this without having connector control, without having water control to get out of connector. And also there was no flash from Opus who was outside there. I think they were just kind of gambling that Enterprise wouldn't take water, but if you gamble wrong, they just got decimated. This is the first gun round, so that gave a little bit of momentum for Enterprise.
Yeah, I mean, basics were there for the Enterprise as well, from the beginning till the end. Like I said, on T side, it wasn't really anything great. They just played slow default and just getting the openings. A couple of mistakes from the CT side got them the actual ending. They got them the actual win at the end. So overall, I think that the better team won. If you take a look at this, but I feel it's just the map, it's the first map for Movistar Riders on the event. First time sitting on this stage. They're not a super crazy LAN team. They just, played a couple of events. Now they're here. It's just the first map, best of one. It's not always the most comfortable thing. You just keep making mistakes, and in a best of one again, you end up losing it.
Next, we can look at what you guys have also pulled out, some of this mid-round aggression that was coming through at the same time.
Yeah, this is a 4v5, right? What we're going to see, and they just have this is just a neat little, a very simple play. Just flash, let me check water again. They go in, the guy jump spots. They're gonna get the kill here a bit later on. This is how actually Movistar got the entry kill, right? So 5v4 situation for them. Finally, they get an opening. They try to focus more on this water area. They realized they couldn't get the control early on, and you can see now the Enterprise realizing, okay, we're 4v5, we can't just sit here, let's try to take a risk, let's try to even out the numbers, and they just go for a swing together, and they just spam deaths here. I mean, he's also spamming with 30 HP.
Even instantly after that kill, you can see the flash for water or short, how you want to call it. That shows you the reaction that these guys are switched on this map, right?
Yeah.
We got killed at somewhere on the else on the map. I'm just gonna try to get even things out. Just flash me out, and I'll try to get. They didn't get it at the beginning, but they get it later. So it shows you that they're like in the game. You know, they know what they're doing. It's a good map for them, obviously, and they got the win.
And despite the maps we've seen already from Enterprise, right, that was the first one where they actually celebrated the win. They knew what that one meant to them,
Yeah,
right?
that's
That was a
actually cool
big scalp to take.
It's actually first time that we saw this whole event that somebody was like actually that happy.
Yeah.
You know, hugging and jumping and stuff.
Maybe low key they're just like thinking they're the favorites to win the whole thing. So this is like actually the first win that they think was not obvious in their eyes.
Well, I don't know about that one, but just gonna do one thing at a time, I guess.
That's it, one game at a time,
Yeah.
one step at a time. But they will now be forward into at least saving grace where they're not in the elimination mode, right? We don't have to grind their way back up
yeah,
again.
that's
They
massive.
put themselves in such a huge spot confidence-wise.
That's massive. We have Movie Star Riders today against Sinners. That's going to be the elimination game.
Yeah.
We are rolling back the first part of the tournament was like crazy games in the AGO against Sinners. Now Sinners are facing Movie Star Riders. Are they going to save themselves again? Because if they do, I believe they're going to face Enterprise in that decider match.
Potentially, yeah. We'll have to see how it all goes down.
Because what do you call it? Entropic. They are not going to lose against them, I think.
They looked pretty damn strong.
Yeah,
like,
they
very
look really
convincing
sharp.
win coming out there. But it's time for us to kick it to a break, and when we come back, we'll be moving into an elimination match, and it's Gambit going up against Isuba, an unlikely Gambit in that position.